and I respond with my own. It's lovely to hear Lakshmi's gentle Hindi here in my Paris apartment, 4,000 miles away. I'd always called her Gigi, big sister, but she hadn't always called me Choti Behan. It was Malik who addressed me as little sister when I first met him in Jaipur 18 years ago, and he wasn't even related to Gigi and me by blood. He was simply her apprentice. My sister started calling me Choti Behan later, after everything in Jaipur turned topsy-turvy, forcing us to make a new home in Shimla. Today, my sister will talk about everything, except the reason she's calling. It's the only way she's found to make sure I get out of bed on this particular date, to prevent me from spiraling into darkness every year on the 2nd of September, the day my son, Nicky, was born. She started the tradition the first year I was separated from him, in 1957. I was just 14. Gigi arrived at my boarding school with a picnic, having arranged for the headmistress to excuse me from classes. We had recently moved from Jaipur to Shimla, and I was still getting used to our new home. I think Malik was the only one of us who adjusted easily to the cooler temperatures and thinner air of the Himalayan mountains, but I saw less of him now that he was busy with activities at his own school, Bishop Cotton. I was in history class when Gigi appeared at the door and beckoned me with a smile. As I stepped outside the room, she said, "It's such a beautiful day, Radha. Shall we take a hike?" I looked down at my wool blazer and skirt, my stiff patent leather shoes, and wondered what had gotten into her. She laughed and told me I could change into the clothes I wore for nature camp, the one our athletics teacher scheduled every month. I'd woken with a heaviness in my chest, and I wanted to say no, but one look at her eager face told me I couldn't deny her. She'd cooked my favorite foods for the picnic. Makki ki roti dripping with ghee, palak paneer so creamy I always had to take a second helping, vegetable korma, and chole, the garbanzo bean curry with plenty of fresh cilantro. That day we hiked Jakhu Hill. I told her how I hated math, but loved my sweet old teacher. How my roommate Mathilde whistled in her sleep. Gigi told me that Madho Singh, Malik's talking parakeet, was starting to learn Punjabi words. She'd begun taking him to the community clinic to amuse the patients while they waited to be seen by her and Dr. J. The hill people have been teaching him the words they used to herd their sheep, and he's using those same words now to corral patients in the waiting area. She laughed, and it made me feel lighter. I've always loved her laugh. It's like the temple bells that worshippers ring to receive blessings from Bhagwan. When we reached the temple at the top of the trail, we stopped to eat and watch the monkeys frolicking in the trees. A few of the bolder macaques eyed our lunch from just a few feet away. As I started to tell her a story about the Shakespeare play we were rehearsing after school, I stopped abruptly, remembering the plays Ravi and I used to rehearse together, the prelude to our lovemaking. When I froze, she knew it was time to steer the conversation into less dangerous territory, and she smoothly transitioned to how many times she'd beat Dr. J at backgammon. I let Jay think he's winning until he realizes he isn't. Lakshmi grinned. I liked Dr. Kumar, Dr. J to Malik and me, the doctor who looked after me when I was pregnant with Nicky here in Shimla. I'd been the first to notice that he couldn't take his eyes off Lakshmi, but she dismissed it. She merely considered the two of them to be good friends. And here he and my sister have been married now for 10 years. He's been good for her, better than her ex-husband was. He taught her to ride horses. In the beginning, she was scared to be high off the ground. Secretly, I think she was afraid of losing control. But now she can't imagine her life without her favorite gelding, Chandra.